Hi friends, and welcome to the Healthy Beyond 40 show. I'm Michelle, mama 4 and military wife, and I'm passionate about helping women get healthy from the inside out so they can feel better and live their best life. Do you feel like you're struggling to lose weight and get in shape? If you're ready to develop healthier habits, exercise consistently, and lose weight sustainably, then you're in the right place. I combine my expertise from my doctorate in physical therapy to my experience as a health coach, personal trainer, and yoga teacher to bring you actionable steps for a healthy lifestyle. No magic pill here, so lace up those shoes and get moving. So today is part 2 of this live health coaching call. So if you missed part 1, make sure you head back to the previous episode and catch up. In this episode, we're going to be diving deep into mindset. And I know this is a part where a lot of people want to skip. It feels easy to just focus on food or exercise, but the truth is mindset is often the missing piece that's keeping you stuck. We're talking about how your thoughts create your feelings and how that is something that you can change. It's within your control. There's a lot we can't control in our life, but our thoughts, that's where we have the power. And as you're listening, maybe you're thinking, I could use some health coaching. Maybe Michelle can see something that I'm not seeing right now. If that's you, I'd love to chat with you. There's going to be a link in the description to set up a free health coaching call, and we can talk about what you're struggling with, uncover these missing pieces, and figure out those next steps that are actually going to move you forward. We're going to keep it simple, doable, and practical. And there's no pressure on this call, so if you're on the fence about getting some extra support, I encourage you to just reach out. I also encourage you, if one-to-one coaching is not the thing for you right now, check out my course, The Self-Coaching System. It's super affordable and it walks you through these mindset pieces and the emotional release tools that really help you deal with uncomfortable feelings. Because let's be honest, when you're bored and you reach for food, or you've had an argument and you head to the pantry, those are just uncomfortable feelings showing up. And when you have the tools to handle those feelings and shift your thoughts, you're going to have so much more freedom. And you won't want to stay stuck in those same old cycles anymore. There's a link in the description where you can check it out. It might be that missing piece you need to start losing weight, getting healthy, and finally feeling better, not just for a few months, but for a lifetime. All right, so let's dive back into this live coaching call. Remember, we were talking to Rachel about having that time in the afternoon to just rest. So we're going to work on getting a little more sleep. And then we're also going to work on allowing yourself to just have a rest in the afternoon. Like, it's okay that I'm exhausted. And so how does this even sound, like allowing yourself to rest or relax in the middle of the afternoon when you have these kids at home and all? And I'm sure you could be cleaning. I'm sure there's other stuff. Like, what comes up for you as we're talking about this?
I know it sounds stupid, but it sounds kind of scary.
Yeah, no, that's why I asked.
I don't know. I just feel like I have so many things to do.
Yeah. And when you're thinking, I have so many things to do, how does that make you feel? What emotion?
Oh, I feel emotional about it. Just overwhelmed.
Yeah. And that's totally understandable. So if I'm thinking, oh, I have so many things to do, and you're probably thinking of those very specific things you have to do, right? That's going to make you feel overwhelmed. And so our thoughts that we have in our head are going to produce our feelings, and then we're going to act a certain way. So probably if we're having those thoughts, I have so many things to do, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm probably going to be a little more frantic doing things versus doing things from more of a calm place.
Right.
So our circumstance can still be the same. So you can still have X, Y, and Z to do. We're not going to call it so many things because so many things sound stressful. So how can we start to change that thought so it still sounds true? Like, I have to clean the house. I have to get dinner ready. I'm maybe going to go visit with my mom. I have these things to do. They're still there. How could you think about that differently so you're feeling a little more peace and calm?
I'm not quite sure. I think I've always been more of a type A person, and I feel like I'm a productive person. I could probably trick myself into saying, well, this is just another thing on my list that I need to get done. My rest period time, I need to complete a meditation or do 20 minutes of something. I don't know if that's going to be helpful if I kind of frame it in that way, or if I'm just going to be stressed out about one more thing for me to do. So,
yeah, absolutely. And so I'll sort of give you some ideas for thoughts to have. And you tell me if these would sound true at all. So you're still thinking I have X, Y, and Z to do.
mhm.
What is said you thought, like, I have all the time I need to get done. I'm going to get done what I get done today. I'll get done the most important things that I need to. It's okay if I don't get everything done. Like, this is going to be okay. Like, I'm okay. The family's okay. Do any of those thoughts jump out at you?
I feel like if I told myself that, it would all be a lie to myself.
Okay.
I mean, I like the idea of telling myself I have all the time and, to do the things, and I have time to do all of the most important things. And I really wish maybe I'm just not, I don't know, a positive, like a more optimistic person. I don't know.
And what happens if you don't get some of the things done in a day, some of those like less important things? What would that mean about you?
I don't know, that I failed that day.
That you failed? Yeah.
And like I did laundry yesterday, and I still have my basket of folded laundry in my basket, and it makes me feel like crap like today. And I mean, I could have put my stuff away, but I ended up taking my kids out and my son's girlfriend out for sushi, so we went and did that, and I really had a good time with them. So I'm glad I did that, but it's always in the back of my mind that like, well, I never put this laundry away. Like I should have done that. It's like just sitting there, like what am I doing?
And you get to decide that. So I do that too sometimes. Have a basket of laundry for a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
But in my circumstance, so the circumstance is the same. Our basket of laundry, like we've done it, it sits out for a couple days. I can think like, okay, I didn't get that done. Like it doesn't bother me. It doesn't make me feel like crap. And I'm not like comparing or putting you down. Mm-hmm. But the same thing can happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
That basket of laundry is there for a couple days. And it sounds like you made a good choice. You went out with your kids to have sushi and you really enjoyed that. But you're telling yourself like, I didn't get that done, whatever that is. And you said you're making yourself feel like crap.
Yeah.
So that's all coming from the way you're thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that you can change if you want to. So it's not easy,
mm-hmm.
but we have to work on intentional thoughts. So for me, I'm walking you through a mindset process here.
Mm-hmm.
And what I will come out with new thoughts that I want to think that do feel believable. It's like my brain isn't believing them yet. It's not my thought that comes naturally. So every morning I'm reading some of my new thoughts that I'm working on. So they feel true. Like if I'm like, okay, that's true. Like, but my brain's not believing it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm reading those thoughts every morning and sometimes a couple times throughout the day.
Okay.
So you can change
mm-hmm.
how you're thinking about things, but it does have to start from a place that's a little bit true. We can't just have some affirmation and believe something that doesn't feel true. But a lot of times we're believing stuff that isn't true anyways. Like, so when you see the laundry basket there for a day or two, what is that thought you're telling yourself?
Well, I'm just kind of mean to myself because I'm like, why didn't you put it away? Like, it's been sitting out. That's like, you're just lazy. Like, you need to get this done, And it's really, and it's really nobody else. It's just me. Like,
Yeah.
I think, my husband saw it yesterday. He put his clothes away. But he hasn't ever made me feel bad about my stuff being out,
Yeah.
So.
And literally how I said, ouch, that is a thing you can say to yourself. When you start noticing that self-talk going on, you can say, ouch. Because, right, I imagine you don't sound like you would talk to other people like that.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
And if someone was talking to you like that, it would hurt, right?
Yeah, right.
So you can say ouch or something like that to sort of get yourself to like, ooh, pause. Like, this isn't what I want to keep saying. Because if I keep saying and talking to myself this way, I'm going to keep feeling like crap.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right? Those
Right.
thoughts make you feel like crap. And they're not really true. Like lazy, you don't sound like a lazy person to me, right?
No.
And it doesn't mean that you can't rest or have downtime or go out and have fun. You can still do all those things and you're not a lazy person. And why didn't you? Why didn't you? Because you chose to go out for sushi and you probably chose a few other things.
Right.
Maybe even if you chose to like sit and relax, like it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your thoughts there?
I mean, I think that's true. I should probably work on being nicer to myself. I'm pretty patient with everybody else, so I just don't have a lot for myself.
Yeah. And, you know, we have the neural pathways in our brain. So that self-talk has been built for a while. So it takes a while to start to change and build new neural pathways with different self-talk. So just a simple example of that laundry basket out, what could you say to yourself when you notice? So we can't pick our first thought. So your first thought is probably still going to be, why didn't I do this? I'm lazy. Like whatever it is, you're still going to have that first thought, but you can choose your next thought.
Mm-hmm.
And so what would be a truer thought to have?
Oh, my laundry's still here, but I got to go and spend some time with my kids. And honestly, I'm grateful that I have that time, and I'm grateful I have clothes that I have to just put away. You know, it's not really a big deal, but that still needs to be done.
Yeah. And how would you feel if you were talking to yourself like that?
Probably better than beating myself up over a stupid laundry basket full of clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
A little more peace, a little more calm. So I know you're writing down a little bit, but after this call, definitely write that down, write down some other thoughts. And I want you to look at those in the morning.
Okay.
So you can tell yourself the truth. And especially the laundry basket started with the idea of feeling like a failure. So you could have different thoughts just like that when you feel, I'm using air quotes, like a failure, because they're probably not true. So even though some of these new thoughts aren't easy necessarily, or like your brain doesn't jump to that first, like if you can really sit back and say, okay, this is true, because most likely what you're telling yourself already isn't 100% true either.
Right.
Okay. So let's go back to taking the 20 minutes to rest in the afternoon and that feeling scary because you have so many things to do. And if you don't do those things, you're going to be a failure. So now as I'm re-saying that out loud, is that even true? If you don't do these so many things you have to do, you're going to be a failure.
No.
Okay. So we can say that thought isn't even true, even though my brain's currently believing that and wants to keep that, right?
Right.
So what would be true that you have things to do and your body would benefit from a 20-minute rest? What could be a true thought about that?
Because I have so many things to do, I should probably take some time for myself and rest so I can actually do the things that I'm supposed to do and not be stressed out about it.
Yeah. Does that feel true to you?
That does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, literally, like the airplane example, we put our oxygen mask on first so we can help the kid. But literally, when we're more filled up and less stressed, we're like more pleasant to be around. We can pour out better. And 20 minutes is like nothing, especially when we use that 20 minutes like very intentionally. So like scrolling on my phone isn't like restful to me, even though sometimes we will go and do that. Right. But 20 minutes to lay down and listen to a meditation is very restful to me. So using that time so that you can even expand your capacity even more, you could look at it in that way, like I'm going to rest so I can expand my capacity more to just be patient with my kids, to tolerate work, to deal with my mom, like all these things. Taking that time to rest is going to help to expand your capacity too.
That makes sense.
And so I'll sort of repeat it and just honestly tell me what pops up for you. So having yourself on the days you are not working takes 20 minutes in the afternoon to rest. So how's that feel? Any thought that pops up?
Kind of like a relief.
Okay. So we went from scared to relief. Love it. Yeah. And that's all just from doing a little bit of thought work and working on changing those thoughts. And what I'll do after this call too, and I'll put it in the description for people who are interested, is I have a course called the Self-Coaching System. And in that course, I have a section called the model. And that is sort of the mindset work I'm just sort of walked you through. Also in the course, it has emotional freedom techniques or tapping. And that's a great way, especially if some thoughts are stuck or emotions are stuck, to release that. So I will email you after this and share that with you, because that's a really great course to start to use some of these tools like the model, the mindset work, and EFT. And these are things I use every day. So whether it's, with your health, your kids, your family, your spouse, your children, whatever it is, they're really great tools so that you can start to change the thoughts and change the way you're feeling about things so you can show up different.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we'll do one more little area. So when you have the 3 p.m. slump, so we talked about doing some preventative means. First, we're going to try to sleep more, and then we're going to intentionally take a rest with the idea of that rest helping to refuel us a little bit more so we're not reaching for the sugar. And before we do that, on a very practical standpoint, so after you take whatever type of 20-minute rest you want for the afternoon, are you typically going to be like hungry in the afternoon? Like, do you need snack or a food?
Yeah.
Or do you make it to dinner?
No, I'm typically hungry.
Okay. So what are a couple of good things you could have?
So like afternoon snack wise at work, I'll take some carrots and celery. I'll take cashews. Sometimes I'll eat a couple of dates and a piece of dark chocolate. I like cottage cheese and like mandarin orange. So I'll take that as a snack sometimes. Yogurt with berries, the Greek yogurt I like.
Do you do unsweetened Greek yogurt?
I do.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I think having that protein in there, like cottage cheese, yogurt, the nuts, just watching the portion size on nuts, they're easy to overeat. Those are all great snacks. So just making sure you're having that at home. So it's like, maybe I take this rest, then I'm going to have my snack, so that you're avoiding that. Okay. So let's go a little bit into like the more emotional eating. So thinking outside of this afternoon crash that happens, are there other times that like the sugar cravings happen or something like that?
Yeah. So after, like, if I get into an argument with my husband, I'll want to eat something that's bad. Like the kids bought Oreos the other day, and I ended up eating like, I think 4 Oreos after him and I got into argument. It wasn't even that big of an argument, but I just felt like super overwhelmed and upset. And then even at work, they're always bringing in donuts and pizza, and ER nurses are notorious for like just eating all kinds of things that are brought in, and it's really hard to resist when you haven't eaten all day and it's been stressful, and then it's easy to be like, oh, well, then I'll just eat half of a donut. And then you end up eating the whole donut. And then...
Yeah, then the one sitting next to it, right?
And then, the girls are like, oh, I'll bring you a coffee. And they go out and bring coffee back. And I love coffee, but I'll usually get things that are at least lower in calories. And, they're bringing back things that are not. And it's there. And I'm tired and stressed out and hungry. So... I've had like 500 calories of just sucking down sugar, and then it doesn't make me feel good. It makes me feel good for like maybe, 10 minutes, and then then I'm crashing.
Yeah.
So, and you feel jittery and not great. So,
yeah, let's narrow in first on the example you gave with your husband, like after an argument, and it's the same idea probably in that scenario too. Like you grabbed the Oreos after your guys' argument. And did it temporarily make you feel better?
In the moment, it tasted great. And I was like,
Yeah.
whatever, I'm just going to eat this. And then afterwards, you feel like crap because you're like, what did I just eat? And I don't usually buy this kind of stuff. And I don't even know why this is in my house, but I have teenagers. So, and they both work.
Yeah.
And so they bring home all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. And so again, our body just knows what might make it feel temporarily better, even if that's not good for us.
Right.
So our body knows, like, I can eat those Oreos. I'm just going to feel a little better. I'm not going to have to think about the argument I just had with my husband.
Right.
And so it goes back to being more of aware of situations like that and then having tools. And again, so in that course, the self-coaching system, there's also, I teach emotional freedom techniques or tapping in there. Mm-hmm. And that can be a really great technique for this specific example too, where you have that argument with your husband. Mm-hmm. So it may be, instead of like going to grab the Oreos, maybe you're going to your room, or maybe you're like in the bathroom somewhere where you can get away and you can just do a little tapping to release whatever you were feeling with your husband. Like, even though I'm feeling angry that he said this, whatever it is, you can have that statement and then you tap through the different points to release it, because most likely the eating doesn't release that emotion you were feeling. Like, what emotion do you think you were feeling after that argument with your husband?
Just frustration. I felt a little bit overwhelmed. I'm not really angry. Kind of sad.
Mm-hmm. And did those feelings dissipate after eating the Oreo?
No.
Yeah. No. They don't. They may feel like they temporarily go away, but literally as we're eating, it's like you're literally just stuffing down the emotions and they're still there. So that means, in an hour, the next day, whatever it is, like, those emotions are still there. They might be triggered more easily too, right? If you haven't like resolved that with your husband and then like something happens the next day and, you're like looking for that thing he's doing wrong.
Right.
Not saying that happens to me or anything, but, when we don't clear stuff, we're just like hyper alert. We're looking for that confirmation bias, that thing for them to do again that's going to upset us.
Right.
So we can take just a little bit of time to clear that instead of eating. Then we can have some more freedom too. And then we just feel better overall. So the more and more you can do that, the more and more you will feel better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does.
Okay.
That does.
And most of us, I don't know about you, I didn't grow up with a way of being able to express my emotions. Like, my phrase I remember was, "You're fine. You're fine." Like, so that makes me want to like stuff anxiety down. I didn't learn any tools or that it was okay to express or feel sadness or feel frustration. So now as adults, we have that choice and we can start to learn different tools and really be able to like learn them well so that we can use them. We don't want just information. We want to be able to learn the tools well so that we can use them so that we actually can feel better.
Yeah, no, I came from a mindset of suck it up and let's keep going and you got this and, keep moving.
Yeah. And so I know you don't know how to use the tapping, or, you haven't been taught that yet, but thinking of that example with your husband, how would it have felt to just sort of have 5 minutes to do the tapping, basically have a process to let go of some of that frustration and sadness?
I think that would be really, really helpful. Probably a heck of a lot better than stuffing down some Oreos, but did make me feel good after.
Yeah. And sort of going back to the exhaustion you're having with the physical exhaustion we were talking about. And then this is where that mental exhaustion comes into. Yeah. This argument with your husband, there's probably, I imagine, things that come up with your kids or with your mom. And when we don't have a process to release those emotions, to release some of those thoughts that aren't true, because sometimes when we do the tapping, we can also, our thoughts just like naturally change as we release the emotion. We start to see things more true for how they are, and our thoughts can start to change too.
Okay.
So when we can use these processes, then I think also that mental exhaustion is going to go down. So your circumstance may remain the same, that you're an ER nurse working 12 hours and your husband's a firefighter and your mom is not doing well and you're a blended family. Like all those things can be true. But when you can start to do that emotional work to release some of those feelings and that mindset work to change some of those thoughts, you can be in the exact same circumstance, showing up differently and having less mental fatigue.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so we talked about starting sort of at that 20-minute rest. We're just working on the exhaustion right now.
Okay.
And doing some of this mindset work to start to change those thoughts. And the one practical thing, so when you're at work, and I know you had mentioned like sometimes you don't eat because you get so busy, but you also had said earlier, like, well, I probably could eat something real quick. Like, how can you sort of set yourself up for more success at work on a practical point, but also like a mindset point? Like, what thought can you go in with that will help keep you on the path you want with your eating?
I mean, I make sure that my staff gets breaks. You know, sometimes we're short staffed and I'll do everything I can possibly do to call in people. I try to be creative so they can at least step aside and get a break. So I should probably do the same for myself, honestly. And even if it's, I have some cashews, like maybe I could put like little snacks in little bags and then put it in my pocket because we're not allowed to eat at the nurse's station or in patient care areas, but I could probably step outside the ambulance bay while I'm waiting for the next patient to come in and have my phone with me and take a couple of minutes and eat a quick snack. Maybe I can pack a ready-made protein shake or something. So it kind of regulates my blood sugar. I'd probably be a better worker, honestly, and not hangry, because hanger is never a good thing for anybody.
Yeah, all your brain is thinking about is I want some food, and now that I'm hangry, it wants carbs, it wants something quick.
Right.
Yeah, so I love that. So having something in your pocket or the protein shake ready, doing that in the ambulance bay. And I also loved how you said you make sure to give your staff breaks, and you can do the same thing for yourself. And so, what is that thought that you need to read each day before you go to work to do that?
I deserve a break at work, and I just need to prepare myself to do that. Whether it's pack little snacks, whether it's, if it's not crazy, I could ask somebody who is capable of breaking me, hey, like, can you cover me that I can actually clock out for 30 minutes? I can't tell you the last time I actually got a real lunch break. And I probably should be better about trying to do that for myself. So,
yeah. And I even think, so working on that again, so after this call, write that out a little bit more. I deserve a break. And it almost comes back to your worthiness of deserving that. Like, I am worthy of a break. So putting a few thoughts together like that and then reading them on those days before work, whether that's on your phone, up on a mirror, or like you might need to look at it during work, because that's like a new thought. It's going to be weak. So the more you have to think that intentionally to strengthen that thought and give yourself patience and grace, like when that does not happen. But the more you strengthen that and the more you believe that, I think that will be helpful. And I also think that idea of like, I deserve this and I'm worthy also might be helpful in other areas in your house and home life too, to start prioritizing you. But it's all going to come from the way you're thinking.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So this was a lot of mindset work today. So how is all of that feeling?
It feels doable. I do like a challenge, and I think it will be challenging for me. But I definitely think it's worth working on because I do want to feel better. I'm really tired, and if I could feel rested, I think I would be happier.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to point out, as we're talking today, it's easy to think like I need a different exercise program or I need to follow a diet program. Like we talked about that one you had success with that sounds really restrictive.
Mm-hmm.
And today what we talked about is you need sleep, you need an afternoon rest,
Yeah.
and you need to prioritize at work that you need a break.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to help nurture some new thoughts in your mind. And so this is a lot of times what holds people back too, because we just think that it's the diet we need to follow. We think it's like a specific exercise program that we need to follow.
Mm-hmm.
And those things can be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes from this place of, what do I really need? I really need sleep. And what are the thoughts that can help me make some of these changes? And so when we can really start with that, you're going to have that long-term success. You're going to have that example to show to your family that this is what health is about.
No, definitely. Yeah. Because it's not necessarily being a size 0. I just want to feel better. My mom was a physical therapist, so when I heard that that's what you are on the podcast and you have your doctorate, I was like, okay, like this is good. This is because I want functional wellness. I want to grow old being functional. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want that strength in our body, and we just want to move. We want to feel good. So perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast today, Rachel. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, friends, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm so grateful Rachel was brave enough to share this with all of you guys. Remember, find out what that takeaway is for you. It may not be the exact same thing that it is for Rachel. There's not a certain recipe that's going to work for everybody. And remember, if you need some extra support, check the description down below on different ways you can work with me.